CyberHub bunker and studio. You're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, everyone. Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. Counting down the days to awesome, magnificent, and beautiful Thanksgiving, right? Short week next week. So this is our last full week, because next week will obviously be on a shorter week. We won't have a show on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. So our last show will be Wednesday next week, and then we'll be back again on Monday. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, all of your favorite platforms. We're also live and available on every single podcast listening platform you can hope and imagine on planet Earth. Please make sure to go look up the CyberHub podcast and tune in there as well. We've got a packed show today, including the new exploit as a service marketplace that's offering millions and millions of dollars, a Mandiant attributing Ghostwriter APT to Belarus. Microsoft is warning of an evolution of new Iranian APTs. Pakistani hackers are operating in the Afghan world. And CISA releases a new incident response and vulnerability management program for federal agencies. We're starting to see some movement, folks. So it's going to be a great, great show today. Don't go anywhere. Paul Cummings, good morning to you from awesome Jacksonville, Florida. Good morning to Anthony. Hello to Finley, and good morning to you. And Jane, good morning, afternoon, evening, fellow humans. Indeed, indeed, indeed. This show would not be possible without our friends over at KnowBe4, so please make sure to check them out. You can see more about them in the show notes. Tomorrow, Eric Crone from KnowBe4 will be joining me to wrap up this week, so we'll have an extra special Cyber News Practitioner brief tomorrow. Stay tuned for that as well. And I don't know how you start off your morning. I start off mine with coffee. I enjoy coffee, can't help it. I'm an espresso guy through and through. Thoroughbred, my double espresso, whatever you're drinking this morning, make it yours, enjoy your beverage of choice. You never have to really apologize for it. Coffee cup cheers, folks. We're going to get into today's show. Let's go right at it. By the way, Veteran November, still airing. You guys, if you've not checked out Veteran November this year, it's super special, super awesome. Yesterday, I had on one of my mentors, Wes Knight, a great, great guy, 82nd Airborne. Just awesome story, just a real patriot, a real guy whose entire life has been giving to the country and others, and a really, really great story, folks. So go check that out. We've got another one dropping today as well at 2 p.m. Eastern. Go and check that out, man. Folks, sorry. I don't know why I said man. I apologize. Go check that out, gang. And please make sure to put a thank you in the comment section to these awesome and brave veterans. Let's start with this one, where threat actors are offering millions for 0 days. Developers talk of an exploit for service marketplace. So while mostly hidden in private conversations, details sometimes emerge of a parallel economy of vulnerability exploits on underground forum. Now, this has kind of been something rumored. We talk about it. There's never really been a lot of action. Well, now, some adversaries are claiming otherwise. Some adversaries claim multi-million US dollar budgets for acquiring 0-day exploits, but those don't have the kind of money that they still have if they use as exploit as a service becomes a reality. Here's where this is dangerous. China made it illegal for their security researchers to report exploits to the company, but rather they have to report it to Central Cyber Command within China. And outwards, we're seeing a lot of other countries kind of start to adjust to that type of model. But now we're seeing a forum where in early May, a user offered $25,000 for a proof of concept exploit for CVE 2021-228-903, a critical severity vulnerability, and my favorite Pulse Secure VPN that's been leveraged for quite some time. Another actor with deeper pockets claimed a budget of up to $3 million for no interaction remote code execution bugs, the so-called zero-click exploits for Windows 10 and Linux. The same user had offered up to $150,000 for original solutions for unused startup methods in Windows 10, so malware would be active every time the system booted. The exploit as a service option, which we could see really take off, folks, is not easy. It may take some time, but if it does, you can talk about a completely different approach to how we deal with exploits and vulnerabilities. Today, we know that once an exploit or vulnerability or 0 days disclosed, within hours, there are threat actors scanning for machines that have that software and trying to take advantage of it. In this case, they can go to security researchers and buy the exploits from them, put them on the dark web marketplace, and use them. And that is a definite scary thing to do. There's a bunch of research around this, and you can read this story. It's really, really interesting. It's something for us as practitioners to keep an eye on, because what it's essentially doing is it's showing you how the ecosystem for our adversaries is created. And right now we've heard of ransomware as a service, but exploit as a service could be even more challenging. And if you're in the software business, if you're in the software business of selling software to enterprise or to other companies, this is going to be significant for you, because now we're going to start to have to go looking at how do you develop, what does your CI/CD pipeline look like? How do you take care of your SLDC? There's a bunch of different things that go in there. This is going to be significant, folks. Mandiant attributes Ghostwriter APT attacks to Belarus. The Belarusian government is at least partially responsible for the Ghostwriter disinformation campaign, according to the Mandiant Threat Intel team. The Ghostwriter disinformation campaign, which was detailed in July of 2020, when it was attributed to Russia threat actors, the campaign initially targeted audiences in Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland with NATO-related themes, but has expanded with new narratives since October of last year. In a report published Tuesday, Mandiant researchers drew a connection between the threat actor behind Ghostwriter, which has been tracked as UNC 1151, and the Belarusian government, saying that Belarus is at least partially responsible for the campaign. Belarus politically is led by a dictator. The guy has been, he won an election where he didn't win, but he refused to concede, and he's still in office. They're closely aligned to Russia. It would not be a surprise if Russia actually outsourced this to Belarus, or Belarus did this in order to gain favor with Putin and the Kremlin. They are targeting their neighbors, Lithuania, Latvia, Poland. Strategically for Belarus, that's a significant risk to them. The operators of Ghostwriter are located in Minsk, and they could be linked to the Belarusian military or to a significant threat actor in there as well. So a very interesting development, but shows you how geopolitics plays a direct impact into how threat actors and our adversaries attack and launch different attacks, and how we need to be prepared and read this geopolitical map as well. Microsoft is warning of the evolution of another 6 Iranian hacking groups. Iran, for a little while, was quiet. Now they're back at it, doing their normal Iranian loud analysis. So here we go, loud noise. So the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center has presented an analysis of the evolution of several Iranian threat actors at the Cyber WarCon 2021, and their findings show increasingly sophisticated attack. Since September of 2020, Microsoft has been tracking 6 Iranian hacking groups deploying ransomware and exfiltrating data to cause disruption and destruction for victims. Over time, these hacking groups have evolved into competent threat actors capable of conducting cyber espionage using multi-platform malware, disrupting operations with wipers and ransomware, carrying out phishing and password spraying, and even setting up sophisticated supply chain operators. You can see the timeline of the ransomware attacks by Iranian threat actors from September of 2020 to November of this year. All of these groups deploy ransomware to achieve their objective and were deployed in waves, usually 6 to 8 weeks apart. This year, Microsoft observed the actors scanning for many vulnerabilities, including those targeting Fortinet, FortiOS, SSL, VPN, Microsoft Exchange servers, vulnerable to proxy shell, and more. It's estimated that by scanning for unpatched Fortinet VPN systems alone, the actor obtained over 900 valid credentials in plain text form so far this year alone. Another trend is the upgraded level of patience and persistence in social engineering campaigns, indicative of a sophisticated actor, also letting us know that just a email to someone doesn't cut it. We got to change the way we do cyber awareness. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. During this attacks, they call the targets. They walk them through clicking on credential harvesting pages as part of an interview process. That's the LinkedIn story that I covered several times, and I've been talking about it quite a lot. This is also very similar to what Hamas tried to do with the IDF and trying to lure IDF soldiers into malware-infested dating apps. Although some actors are more methodical, there is some brute force within this. Iranian hackers are continuing to evolve. They did suffer a decline when at the time President Trump took out Soleimani from the battlefield. They've since revamped. They're now being trained by the Chinese, it is believed. Before that, they were being trained by the Russians. So we're bound to see them evolve as well. Facebook says Pakistani hackers operated a fake app store to target former Afghan officials. A group of Pakistani hackers had created and operated a fake Android app store in order to target and infect individuals connected to the former Afghan government prior to and during its fall to the new Taliban regime. We know that this is significant, but how did Facebook allow this to happen? And then how long did it take for them to really make this go through is really, really interesting. Facebook has now taken this down, but I'm wondering how'd you guys not stop this? How did you not know? And what's going on? They've also stopped something similar in Syria as well. So Facebook definitely needs to step up its espionage game because that's what it's being used for, and time for them to take some responsibility. CISA releases an incident and vulnerability response playbook that's now been escalated down and given to all federal agencies. The executive order on improving the nation's cybersecurity tasks CISA with developing playbooks for federal civilian agencies to help them plan and conduct vulnerability and incident response. While the playbooks have been created for federal civilian agencies and their contractors, CISA says the information could be useful to critical infrastructure organizations and also for private sector companies. The new playbooks are designed to provide agencies with a standard set of procedures for identifying, coordinating, remediating, recovering, and tracking mitigations from incidents and vulnerabilities affecting their systems, data, and network. Another awesome thing that Jen Easterly and the team over at CISA have done, this is open to anyone. Anyone can get access to it. All you got to do is go to dhs.cisa.gov. You'll be able to get that. Also, the link to the story has a link directly to the playbook. You guys should go and check that out as well. It is definitely something awesome. So it's going to be, I'm glad CISA's doing this. If you don't have access to playbooks, you should go download it, study it, make it fit your organization. And do you have an incident response plan for your digital life as well? Your personal life, not just your business, but what happens if internet goes out? There's a lot of discussions here to be had, folks. We are in security, but we also have to think of ourselves in it as well. Folks, that's it for our practitioner brief here today. Tomorrow, Eric Krohn of KnowBe4 will be joining me as we wrap up this week. Hey to Chris and Matt, thank you for being here. David, hello, and coffee is my poison this morning. Cheers indeed. Christoph, coffee cup, cheers to you, buddy, as well. And my good buddy Paul says, be on the lookout soon for the whole Cyber Blend double caffeinated coffee. Yes, I can't wait for that. This is going to be awesome. Folks, until tomorrow, where we'll be back again right here at 9 a.m. Eastern. And Veteran November. Also, CISO Talk dropped a brand new episode yesterday. An awesome conversation with my friends over at Deep Instinct and my good friend Carl Scafidi, who's the CISO over at Incom Payments. You don't want to miss it. Till next time. Till tomorrow, have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.